I got this deal on my plate. It's a great deal. I'm going to bring you in as a partner. I'm going to give you a piece of this pie, but I really just need you here to be like my consultant. I'm going to try to do this all on my own, but I need you there. You're doing legwork on everything, right? Like, I mean, you got to find the deal, evaluate the deal, do your due diligence, and then figure out the money to raise the money, whether you're raising money to buy a single family house or you're raising money to buy a, multi-million-dollar property, and then managing the deal after that. I mean, it's all the same kind of core components of anything.
And that works with any business model. So, right, you have two choices, right? You can be high ticket, low volume, or you can be low volume, high ticket, right? Or you can be high volume, high ticket too.
Right.
But, at the end of the day, do you want to sell widgets that you're making 10 cents a piece on, or do you want to sell widgets you're making $1,000 a piece or $100,000 a piece or, $1 million a piece? So you want to think of those things. And, like I said, I didn't go to college, but I was very fortunate. I, understood the value of self-education. So I'm very highly self-educated. And I learned early on, two things. Number one, I don't know what I don't know. And all I know is what I know. And number two, I learned that I wanted to be the high ticket guy, right? So I went after, in my market, the high ticket stuff. I started going after oceanfront. I started building multi-million-dollar, houses and spec houses where you're making $300,000 to $600,000 a deal versus, 50 or 100, or even 20, those types of things. And I started looking at how can I make the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of energy and effort possible. So I always massage my business models to those things. And then talking about the one of three things, as I went along, I didn't have any of it, right? So I had to get the expertise. When I started building, $1 million beach houses, I'd never built a house before, really in my life other than, little small spec houses. So what did I do? I surrounded myself. I hired the experts that's what they had done their whole career, built the types of houses on the Outer Banks that I wanted to build. Yep. I hired them, brought them in to, build a company with me and to do these projects. And same thing as I moved into commercial and moved into all these other things, I hired experts and brought experts in to do the projects, for me and with me. But not only that, I learned from them. I asked questions. I said, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. This is the first time I've ever done this. Tell me why you're, doing that. What do these grade stakes mean? What do the marks on the grade stakes mean? Why are we doing this, that, and the other? What's a chord, this, that, and I would just ask questions and just say, look, I don't know anything, teach me. And that's how I learned in remodeling, building, all the way up to this day. I still can't frame a house. That's just, that's not the highest use and best use of my time, but I know how it works. I know how the parts go together. But you asked me to, cut in a set of stairs or cut rafters. I don't know how to do that.
Right. Yeah. And, I did the same thing with I did my first development deal a couple years ago. I did a video about it, and I didn't know what I didn't know. So I brought in a partner. I had a buddy locally who had done development deals. And I said, hey, I got this deal on my plate. It's a great deal. I'm going to bring you in as a partner. I'm going to give you a piece of this pie, but I really just need you here to be like my consultant. I'm going to try to do this all on my own, but I need you there to back me up when I'm unsure about how to do something, or I might need some resources. And I got through it, and I, took the lion's share of that profit. He got a little bit of piece of the pie, but I learned so much about dividing land and the surveys and the soil tests and all the stuff and going through, the entitlements in the county and all that. I mean, it was a longer process. Development's a longer life cycle than flipping a house or whatever, right? But just now I know how to do that. So now when the next one comes along, I could probably do that on my own. I might have to bring in some money partners depending on the size of the deal, but I know the mechanics of it now and could do the next one by myself.
Yeah. Depending on what it is, if it's the same thing, but if you get into where it's a different type of use or building or whatever, there's some nuances. But yeah, that's what I tell a lot of people. The best way to get started in development is, number one, educate yourself. Two, partner with, hire, or go to work for somebody who has the expertise and learn. And then, then you can start doing stuff on your own. Of course, I have courses, that teach people real estate development, online courses. And then, mentorship. I coach a lot of people all around the country doing development. So, take the courses, hire mentors, coaches, or find somebody to partner with, in your market, to do the deal with you, another developer. And, a lot of developers in the market will do that. I did that early on in my career. I found other developers that, I would find the deal, line it all up. I did all the work, and they came in with the expertise and sometimes net worth and liquidity requirements, and I took care of everything else. And they kind of coached me through some of the things. So that's how I started investing. I was working for guys that were buying beach houses, renovating them. They'd go in, close in the ground floor underneath, put a pool in, add a bunch of value, increase the income, and they'd flip them. So I learned from those guys that. And then I started, doing spec houses for other guys that were, investors. They were hiring me to build them a spec house, and they would sell it. So then I started doing my own, and then, land development, and just on and on and on.